it's time to go back. Back to the year 2010. President Garfield wrote the first Garfield comic for newspapers nationwide. The Bering Strait was no longer a land bridge. And TV's Doogie Howser was enjoying lunch. That's right, it's time to look at How to Train Your Dragon, the Deadly Nadder. Going backwards, here is the Deadly Nadder in her package as she used to appear on store shelves, now pretty much limited to eBay and other resellers. She will range anywhere from $40 to maybe $100, depending on who you're buying from. There is also a dark green Deadly Nadder, which I believe might be the first one that was on the shelves, and then later this blue one as a variant. This toy features a Chomps feature. On the back of the package we have a few things going on, like how to work this Deadly Nadder's legs for biting action, and my favorite, look for the video game with no graphic on it, and a small bio for the dragon. Great image of Stormfly, by the way. Out of the package, we get to play Build a Deadly Nadder. We've got her core dragon body with legs, couple wings, and her spiny tail. So let's build her up a little bit really quick. Looks like the wings just fit right in on a peg. Kind of scary with this old plastic. Wish me luck. Ugh, that's gonna be tight. Very scary. There we go. And we'll do her other wing. Beautifully designed wings, by the way. Painted, let's see, the plastic would be blue maybe. Scaly design in brown around it, so really cool to look at. Place that one in. Oh man, there we go. And she's kind of in this weird turny straight thing. We'll look at that a little more here. And let's get her tail in. There's a side peg here and a side peg there, so to the side. Okay, there she is, built and ready. Falling over on me already. Okay, better camera angle after she is built here. A good looking Stormfly so far, a little bit front heavy again, but that's kind of maybe because her head is pretty big and pretty spectacular. These first run dragons were done so much better than the current dragons, but maybe the current dragon still has some better action features, although take a look at this feature. You're going to squeeze her legs. You're going to get a hunched down open mouth attack, and there's a pretty tight spring in there activating that still, even after being in package for over 5 years. So that's pretty neat, and nicely painted mouth. You could just imagine the blast of fire coming out of her mouth. Pretty cool, pretty tight, and pretty, again, springy. That head up close, really fun. The eye on her, a nice bright yellow eye. Horns going on all over the place, and again, action feature, opening that mouth works pretty darn good. Oops. Other features here, there's really no articulation going on with her though, other than you can kind of rotate her wings a little bit, mainly this side, and actually while I was doing that it's coming out, so not much rotation at all, just a tiny bit, so pretty much next to nothing. Legs don't rotate other than the attack feature, and tail, we all went through that already, stuck. So no real articulation, just a really fun and clever, cool looking Deadly Nadder to play around with. Some interesting things going on with her legs. We've got some little holes here. I thought maybe we'd have a wire in there because sometimes that's what happens when you see holes like that, but I don't believe so. It's just kind of a softer leg than maybe her body and tail. And then we've got a foot pressed into the base of the leg, so kind of interesting there. Love how her feet are painted, and again the wings detail is very stunning, and we've got a nice yellow down her back and on her spine tail. A good dragon toy for a first run Stormfly. Now it's time to play everyone's favorite game, the scaling of the Deadly Nadder. Up first would be my first Stormfly, and that would be Defenders of Berk Stormfly. And they are pretty close in scale and paint and all that. I mean, this one's a little less detailed. This one feels so much more animated from the films. This one definitely feels more like a fun toy to play with. More actions with the flapping and the opening the mouth. And wow, she still lights up. Awesome, good battery power. So a good start there. Next is the How to Train Your Dragon 2 Stormfly with the action dragon feature of a gigantic tail that shoots out spikes, but doesn't really because the action feature doesn't barely work. But also a really nice dragon. At least we get a saddled version of this Stormfly. And the translucent wings coming in was a nice touch. So you can tell she's just maybe a little bit smaller. Then we have that repaint of a Deadly Nadder, just like the first Defenders of Berk, just a little darker, maybe just more of a wild Nadder in the background of several episodes of such. And finally, the new cuter baby-like Dragon Riders Stormfly, which I really dig these a lot. Yeah, the painting isn't that great, but playability is off the charts. So grouping them together really quick, my little happy Deadly Nadder family. Who wants chicken? And a quick collection review so far of the 2010 Dragons. One of the hard things to do with these guys is stand them all up, as some of them just are in the weirdest of flying poses, but a great looking bunch indeed, very similar to how they appeared on the show. So that is the 2010 Deadly Nadder figure. It was pretty exciting checking this one out as I missed her way back in the day. If you're big into collecting dragons and or the Stormfly family, this one is worth it, as she has a great animated feel. That's what I have to say about that.
Thanks for watching Squirrel Stampede.
Oh darn. I parked my Deadly Nadder with a bunch of other Nadders, and now I don't know which one is mine.
Just take the Flightmare instead. He owes you.
Okay, let's do that. Whee!